I thought it would be cool to go over DCEU Wonder Woman. All this time that she thought the sword was the god killer, but she was actually the god killer because only a god can kill another god, implying that Diana is technically a deity. Yeah, they just dumped her lore. That can give you some idea of why she's so strong, which you're going to see a lot in this video. She was literally a weapon to use against him. Just like in the comics, what's respectable about her is that she's a physical brute, but she's actually a trained fighter when it comes to hand-to-hand combat. I mean, she had training even when she was ridiculously young, even when competing with the adult Amazonians, even though she has like a genetic advantage because she's the daughter of Zeus. Her powers were just locked up, which is one of the reasons why the Amazonians like this could actually compete with her, but she still had melee training here with a sword. She's been seen using shields, seems to have skills with a bow and arrow, marksmanship. Did I mention that she has headgear she can use like on some Captain America type stuff? There was a big chunk of the movie where she thought the God Killer sword was the power, but she was, in fact, the God Killer, like I mentioned a little bit earlier in this vid. It's crazy that she has all this strength, but she uses all this stuff in combat. Like, she uses a shield, sword, the lasso on top of this. Notice how she's holding this guy with one arm and implies super strength. You got little glimpses of her power when we see her use her bracelets to create huge shock waves. These is also how she deflects bullets and all kinds of projectiles. They're extremely durable. And on top of her fighting skills, her strength, all this together with this makes her much of a threat too. There's implications here when Ares uses lightning. She can use these bracelets to absorb the lightning, like literally deflecting it. And it's implied she used the same lightning at Ares to blast it back at him. Kryptonian level beings like Doomsday she can block attacks from. One could say she can use these bracelets for long range attacks to help her punching power to blow stuff back like that. She technically has this armor, which definitely needed more screen time. But check this out. What if I told you, as strong as she was in her first movie, there was actually two hers basically, the sleeping power her and an awakened her. Because her godly power was dormant, but her real power got awakened when she realized she didn't really need to rely on the God Killer sword because she herself was the deity. That's why when you've seen her in Batman vs. Superman pull up against Doomsday, it's because she's awakened. Her true power was out. That's why. But let's analyze how strong she is, shall we? Strength-wise, she's vastly stronger than normal men. She can sling them that far, like these guns get crumbled. She has the strength to move vehicles as a shield. She's strong enough to lift up stuff that at least weigh at least 5 tons. She flips it like it ain't nothing. Like I already told you how she awakened. You can see her lift up tanks like this, for example. That model that she was lifting. Like on Wikipedia, it's the Mark IV tank. This is the exact one she was lifting. This was at least 50 tons. Yeah, she can legit hold a tank above her head. This proves she can already at least lift 50 plus tons. Imagine how hard she can hit with this super strength. Because she can't hit hard because of her super strength, by the way. Like when she wants to climb the wall, she can make her own grips to the wall. Notice how she kicks things like this and it goes flying. Hit this beam through the window. Can break rifles. She can hit hard enough to bust through these doors. You get kicked back. Concrete she can run through. It's clear she can hit hard based on stuff like this. But at least being able to lift something this heavy, we know for a fact, if she can punch as hard as what she can lift. Like, it's already proven the weapons don't make the woman. Cases like this prove that she can collapse buildings, like by literally crumbling a big chunk of this right here. I mean, she's a deity. I would hope she would be able to destroy a building. We've seen her legit cut cars in half. Big statues like that she can cut. I mean, she has all this super strength, but imagine how fast her hands are. I mean, she's known for having hands fast enough to react to bullets. This type of thing happens too often when it comes to her being able to look at the bullets mid-flight. It's consistent. Deflecting bullets over and over again with her fighting speed. Check out this combat speed. He's right there close and she deflected it. This is not the limits because we've seen her react to stuff faster than bullets. Like lightning when she was fighting the deity Ares. Blocks it mid-flight. This would imply that her hands can move faster than lightning or as fast as lightning at the very least, or one could say reflexes, her fighting speed can react to stuff like this. Stuff moving at her at over 200,000 miles per hour she can react to. When she finally lets her true godliness out, her speed seems way better than it's ever been in the whole movie. She just starts speed blitzing, sliding through people. Like literally. Her fighting speed is so fast, she can catch a bullet with her lasso via precision. Can deflect a whole bunch of bullets with her lasso. Now, if you want to get into the limits of her peak power, we got to look at how strong Zod was. I mean, because Zod ends up evolving into this, an even stronger version of himself, being Doomsday. I mean, you probably already got respect for Superman himself. And you know Zod gave him a run for the money. Throughout the first movie, this is important because this Zod eventually ends up becoming Doomsday. And if we compare Zod to Superman in this movie, you remember what Superman withstood? body drilled through a mountain, broke a piece of the mountain, and was fine afterwards. This is crucial that characters in this universe can withstand going through mountains without even being phased, because when Wonder Woman got in a scuffle with this Doomsday, she did some damage to him with the leg hit there. She literally used the blade to cut his arm off a Kryptonian level being, proving that she can harm Kryptonian level beings with blunt or cutting power type of attacks. Although there is implication she could cut up mountaintops because she can harm beings that can withstand mountain shattering attacks with ease, you gotta look at what Doomsday withstood. This Doomsday withstood a nuclear explosion, something that could easily level a city. He not only survived, but he evolved. It's funny that this evolved version that adapted to that nuke is the version that Wonder Woman cut his arm off of. Isn't that crazy? Despite him withstanding a nuke, she's still able to do all that. The fact that she can cut a being's arm through his bones, that's a Kryptonian level being that can withstand nuclear bombs, implies that her strikes, cutting power, and everything is actually deadlier than a nuclear bomb. That kind of shows how much of a threat she is. She's one of those characters really hard to get an understanding of her limitations because we don't really got too many super flashy ones other than her battle feats. But I definitely believe she can definitely sink a city at least. At the very least, tremble an entire city. I mean, with her strength and gear combined, she's able to withstand nuclear-looking city-shattering blasts from Doomsday. It does push her back, of course, and blows away buildings, but she can withstand all this. I personally think you can land a cruise ship on her back and she would be able to be strong enough to hold up all the weight with her godly strength, but that's none of my business. I mean, we got some off-screen feats of what Kryptonian level beings can do, like Superman shifting tectonic plates off-screen, preventing an earthquake. Wouldn't that mean Superman's body would have to withstand the stress to be able to move these weights without his arms ripping off or something? Wouldn't that also mean Superman's durability should be able to withstand this level of pressure being pushed on him? If beings in this universe can withstand tectonic plates, and their muscles can withstand such pressures, that would be like saying Wonder Woman, since she can cut off beings that are Kryptonian level like Superman's arm, she would have to be able to hit with similar force or more. Do you think she can cut with the force with similar power to tectonic plates in this universe? Or one could say quintillions or sextillions of tons? In the DCEU lore, there's some decent lore from the deities in this universe. This is kind of a better way to understand Wonder Woman's potential might, since we're never going to really see it because this universe is gone. I mean, her father is literally Zeus of this universe. And when you want to deep dive into the lore, the Shazam movies do a good job of talking about some of the Titans and the gods and what they've done in the past. And you know how in DC Comics, they get a lot of stuff from the myth stuff. In this universe, there's implications that they take from myth too. Like, because there was this fun little book Freddie had. It's called Guide to Superheroing. Yeah, it's a little fun book. You always shouldn't take this stuff serious. I would agree that you shouldn't take some of this stuff too serious, but when it comes to the lore, some of this stuff just can't be a lie because it's a constant theme in DC lore. And there was like a sketch of, like, you guys know about Atlas and stuff, about the holding the heavens or the earth or the sky. Like, this picture was drawn to kind of implement that this happened in this universe via myth. The movies do include the myth. This can one could argue, give a good understanding of Wonder Woman's true might. Like, this is just a quick reference, guys. Like, I know the comics and the movies are their own thing, but there's some similarities, like this one being one of the similarities constantly through of Atlas holding a lot of weight. In the comic lore, when Atlas drops something, beings like Hercules are usually shown to do similar stuff when it comes to raw strength. Wonder Woman's in this Greek lore. Usually we see her in comics help lift up stuff that Hercules and them gotta live. Hercules or Atlas. So even though the movies is its own thing, there's a lot of similarities. This is one thing that seems to be a constant theme. Wonder Woman being up there with the gods like Hercules, Titans like Atlas. And just like that, in the movie lore, her dad is Zeus. She's a deity. She's related to the deity's lore with her power. She's a god killer. This guy pretty much lets you know that the DCEU mimicked myth feats similar to how the comics mimicked myth feats. Implying even in this universe that Atlas did hold a world or the sky, the burden similar to myth stuff or the comics. Stuff like this really makes you do some critical thinking. Like, if it's similar to how the comics do, and it's confirmed that Atlas holds the world in the DCEU live action as well, this could imply that Wonder Woman could have the strength to literally lift or hold to support the weight of the planet, lift the weight of the world or planet. Add this to the fact that she is implied to be weaker than Superman of this universe. Somebody that can lift apparently a tectonic plate off screen. When you add all this stuff together, there's a chance she would be able to lift the planet. You know, her and Superman and stuff, like the powerhouses. And then when you put all this stuff in consideration, that makes you wonder, what the heck would their punches or swings feel like if they have this kind of strength to lift up planetoid type structures? Strength to be able to shake a continent or multiple continents. You never imagine that these DCU characters were this strong based on the lore. But we'll never see the continuation of this though, unfortunately. Right? I definitely think, even if you don't want to believe they can lift the world or punch with swings that is heavy as the world, if we just being disrespectful, they have to be able to lift planetoid type structures like the moon. Like if there's implications that they can move tectonic plates right here, Atlas being able to hold the world in the myth lore, which in turn kind of implies that Wonder Woman could be that strong too, just kind of similar to the comics, how they mimic the lore, vice versa. And then imagine what her swings would feel like. You see what I'm saying? It just takes quite a bit of critical thinking. What do you guys think? If Wonder Woman truly can lift up the world like Atlas, what would her punches feel like? I hope you guys enjoyed. But other than that, it's really hard to gauge her true limits, though. We just know she can cut a city in half, basically, if she really had to. But I hope you guys enjoyed. But before I get going, everybody, I got to say thanks for the donations, everybody. Helps out a lot. Respect Wonder Woman. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.